what it is. I had to hit the button. Yay! You are live. Looks like we are going now. Um, yeah, if someone could just check the live stream then, just to make sure
Yep.
it is
I'll do the
all
ping.
ready to rock.
Yep.
Apologies for that. Just a little bit of a technical hiccup. It would not be a Maverick stream if there weren't any technical hiccups, would it, guys? So anyway, yep, again, just welcome to everyone. Thank you to everyone that has been with us since the very start, and welcome to anyone that has joined us along the way. I hope you're ready for an incredible journey. Regardless of which game you are here to join us in. We have great racing all the way up and down, all tiers, all games, and an absolutely great community to boot. I think we can all agree that Phoenix is a wonderful place to spend your time as race as well. You know, not that I'm biased or anything, but anyway. And finally, then I hope we can all get on to the season 2 hype train. I hope we're all ready to get stuck in and battle it out on track all once again. Yes, thank you, Michael. So next point then, just going to run down through just to give you a bit of an idea of what the current league staff looks like. So co-founders, myself and Antboy, are the ones that kicked it all off. Myself, I'm going to manage more of the community side, making sure that Phoenix remains a nice, safe place to be, and that everyone can find the information that they need to be able to get on track. And Antboy will manage more of the technical side, running the developing the rule book, running the penalties and all that kind of stuff. Then we've got our FIA, who is currently Buckethead, Darkness, Rebellious, WS1, and James Konos. So these guys then help us to make the big decisions in Phoenix, to help be able to bring you the best racing experience that we can. If you do have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out to these guys. And if they bite you, just remember you can always complain to me. But I promise that they have been told not to bite too hard. So then our marshalling team then. So these guys are instrumental as well to the smooth running of the league. These guys will also help you out if you need anything throughout the season. You can ask them questions as well. And they will be able to provide you with answers, point you in the right direction, and they just generally help me and Boy and the FIA to keep things running nice and smooth. So let's get into the meaty bit then of the rule updates. The biggie for a lot of people is the no assists for Tier 1 in F1 2022. When you announced this, probably what must be around about 5 or 6 weeks ago now, that this would be coming in Season 2. And it looks like a lot of people are taking up the challenge. We've got 19 seated drivers right now, and a lot of competition for the final seat, which we're hoping is going to be filled some point tonight, if not tomorrow night. So that means then hopefully we've got a grid full of 20 drivers that are willing to take on the no assist challenge, which is excellent. As a result of the silliness that went on in Belgium in the previous race, we had a lot of people getting floor damage just going over a curb that you basically have to go over. The damage rate for Tier 1 was on simulation, but for next season it will be reduced to standard rate. The damage impact will still remain at simulation, so you'll still feel the impact of the damage whenever you do get something. It will still affect your performance just as much as it did before, but how quickly the damage builds up will be considerably slower, which hopefully means then that it rewards clean racing, so avoiding contact with other drivers, but at the same time, it doesn't punish you for just taking a normal line through a corner and going over a curb that apparently is a little bit too aggressive. So that is the Tier 1 specific updates. So in general, across all series, and this is for goes for all of the Formula One games, safety car will be turned on this season for some races. There are some races we will keep the safety car off, simply because it would end up we just have 3 or 4 green laps, and there ends up almost no racing. Like for example in Miami, um, we would just end up with absolutely no racing there. Um, the So watch out for that. I will highlight if the safety car is on or off in the pre-race briefing, so you will know about that, well in advance of the race start, and it won't be a surprise or anything. Um, and we also will adjust this depending on the level of reports that we get, because safety car can be basically a report generator, and based on the level of kind of bugginess with the game as well. There are some tracks where, although it's wide open, the safety car can tend to just do crazy stuff. So we'll tune this as the season goes on, and we'll change when it's on and off for next season as well. Again, to make sure that we bring you the best racing experience that we can. As well as that, then, some penalty points will be carried from previous seasons. The actual details of this, I didn't want to list it here because it would just be a wall of information, death by PowerPoint. The actual details will end up in the rulebook, but essentially, if you had, very few penalty points this season, they are probably gone, or you're on very low numbers. If you had a lot of penalty points from the previous season, then you'll probably still be on, 6 or 7 penalty points, which means then that, let me just plug the masterclass that is coming up at 8 p.m., which is in 1 hour and 45 minutes. If you do turn up and stay for the entire masterclass, then 3 penalty points will be removed from your license. Okay, so you've more chance then of starting next season with a clean license. All right. The idea of this being that you can't just end up on the final race with 0 penalty points and just go crazy. Penalty points then are just as strict the whole way through the season, regardless of whether it is the start of the season or the end of the season. All right. So a big announcement then. Tier 3 has been opened up for this season. We've got to the point now the population has grown incredibly well. So we've got to the point now where we can open a Tier 3. It will be an open tier. That means any and all drivers, Tier 1, Tier 2, and reserves can all enter. And we'll just open lobbies as needed. It'll be a great way to get new members in, and to get them racing and to assess whereabouts they will then end up. With the plan then being that Tier 3 will then become seeded like Tier 2 is, and Tier 4 will then become open, so on and so forth as we grow. But the focus will be on maintaining quality, so that Tier 1 and 2 create quality racing, and then Tier 3 will help us to teach new drivers and filter out any bad habits. Okay, and that is why the reduced damage model will be used, so it will just then have front wing and suspension damage, but standard league rules will still apply, so it won't just be open levies. So then just a little bit of a reminder for team principals. This is a new system that we've brought in for this season. I myself am not very experienced with it. I know some of you are, but if you are not experienced with it, it can be a little bit difficult to get your head around. But the important thing is that for this season, it is the TP's responsibility to. Oh, man. I'm kidding, darkness. It is the TP's responsibility to make sure that drivers are seated, are checked in, and to make us to let us know if a driver won't be there or not. That way, then, the leadership team, myself and Boy, the FIA, we can all focus on making sure that the rest of the league all runs nice and smooth without having to chase drivers. So it helps us then from that point of view, and it kind of helps a little bit with the essential role play of being a team principal as well. So please take that on board, team principals. If you do need any assistance, if you need any kind of help from the FIA at all, we are more than happy to help out. There's a couple of ways that I have with dealing with my team at the moment. I'm sure Antboy has some as well. So reach out to us if you do need help. We don't want you struggling. But just to let you know, it is going to be the team principal's responsibility. Okay, and some interesting stuff then for this season's prizes. We have decided to award some prizes this season. The top one is my own personal decision to award this prize. I want to see good sportsmanship. That is what I value a lot in league racing. So what I want to do is award the team that shows the best sportsmanship throughout the season a £5 Steam voucher for the team principal of that team and the two drivers. Excuse me. I will select a driver, or I will select a team and driver combination from Tier 1 or Tier 2, F1 22 or F1 2021. It could be any of those teams, but it will be a team principal and a two driver combination. I will select three teams that I think have shown good sportsmanship, and then the FIA will make sure then to make the final decision. So whenever it is three McLaren teams that get chosen, there can be no bias suggested. I'm kidding. Hopefully then the plan is that will encourage a lot of sportsmanship. I know a lot of people generally are, but that is something that I wanted to kind of encourage with that. Also then as well, our F1 22 champion in Tier 1 will be awarded with 1 month Discord Nitro as well. Okay. Cheeky extra slide in there. So as a result then of Tier 3 being announced, we then have a little bit of a shuffle up of the weekly racing schedule. So the big things to take into consideration, first of all times have been transferred to UTC. Now that means the racing is still going to be at the same time. The advantage of UTC is that it doesn't move around like British Summertime does. So it means then that we don't have to worry about when British Summertime ends or whatever. Especially because I think it changes during this season, doesn't it? What is it? October? I think it changes. So we don't have to worry about that. I can keep these times then the same or move them so that they're still at 6 p.m. UK time. But at least then, with it being UTC, it's not a moving target. So that's one big thing. Another thing to consider as well is the FIA penalty review is moved to Tuesday. That will give everyone up until 5 p.m. UK time, which is 4 p.m. UTC, for reports to be put in, and then a further 24 hours for people to put in their defense. So it just gives a little bit extra time. It was probably a little bit too tight for the F122 guys to be able to post their reports. So that just gives a little bit extra time, and allows us then to be able to provide a good service whenever we're doing the penalty review for you guys. But that does mean then that the standings probably will not be posted until Wednesday. So please do bear with us. We will get the standings out as soon as we can after penalty review, but that extra day will mean that it is a little bit slower. So Tier 3 then will be taking place at 7 p.m. UTC or 8 p.m. UK time on Friday evening. As I say, this will be completely open to any and all drivers. We will just open lobbies as required, and that will then be good for assessing skills then for whenever we have fully seeded Tier 3, Tier 1 and Tier 2. Okay. That is pretty much it from there. From an ACC point of view, instead of having Tier 1 and Tier 2, we're now moving to increase the lobby size, and we're all in one lobby now. So there is just one session at 12 noon on the Saturday. Okay. I think that then is all I have from myself. Is there any staff members would like to jump in to just add anything before we move on to questions?
I have a question about the safety car. Is that going to be on ACC as well?
No, ACC will not have any safety car, so it will just apply to the Formula One games.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yep, no problem. Okay, if there is anyone else that has any questions, pop them into the chat. That'll just help us to so we don't have people talking over each other, and we can answer away.
There will be no homework set for today.
Yes, that is correct. No, the homework is for the what do you call it? The masterclass afterwards. I'm setting loads of homework. So
I won't be there.
Altosis.
Can I ask a question?
Yep. I'm just going to answer Altosis here. So ACC is not going to have any assigned open lobby times, but feel free in the open lobbies to ping the ACC role and still get some open lobbies. I may very well still run some myself as well, but it just won't be the assigned. PC2 for this season, at the very least, we got good numbers there signing up to this season. So for this season, it will at least exist, but may very well then drop off towards next season. The league will continue, but it may just not have its own section, just to tidy up channels a little bit. We may very well just move it to a single thread, and manage it through that. Joshua, did you have a question? Oh.
Can we ask questions now, or is this still?
Fanboy's asking if PC2 will still exist.
Yeah, so I've just said there that it may very well not have its own section, but we may move it to a separate separate thread.
And then how about a meme award? Says Darkness.
Yeah, the meme award. Yeah, we could certainly have the meme award. Yep.
I mean, I'd just win it every race.
Yeah,
so.
Of course you would. So no bias at all. But yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah, certainly.
£5 Steam voucher each week.
Yeah, indeed. I think we could do some kind of meme award. Alpha Snake says, where and when will the new rulebook be available? So I am going to finish off the final touches on it tonight. Boy has updated it for me. I just need to make it look absolutely gorgeous for you all. And then once I do that, it will be available either tonight or tomorrow night. And you'll get a ping. You'll see in the rules section, it will come up with a ping on everyone.
Will we
Yeah.
ever get a point for pole position?
Say again.
Will we ever get a point for pole position?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
I
Chris
vetoed
Pie
that.
5.
A Chris Pie 5, yep, yeah, I think we'll go there. Yeah, so Just Shay, to answer your team principal task, so Just Shay asks, can you go over all the team principal tasks, what we're expected to do, joining calls, interviews, just a general rundown. Boy, you happy for me to take this and just jump in if I miss anything?
I was gonna say, could you make that a thing for just the team principals, and then just if there's anyone else who's not a team principal got a question,
There's going to
we'll
be
go
a
through those now.
rule book.
Yeah.
There was a rule book already, but that's going to be updated for this
Yep.
season.
For just a general overview, the main point will be it is to get people seated in their teams. So it takes a little bit of pressure off us to to chase people getting into each seat in each tier. First of all, the contract system gets people to your team, and then between each race, the team principal should be messaging their drivers and saying, "Hey, are you going? Hey, are you going?" and finding a reserve if they can't go. As for anything other than that, really optional. If you want to run your team, and do loads of practice and all that kind of stuff, and look at telemetry and be super serious, you can do that. If you want to be more relaxed, that's perfectly fine too. As long as you are signing drivers and making sure they turn up every week, that is the main point. But as Antboy says, there will be a rule book that will be posted that you will have to follow. Mainly, correct me if I'm wrong, Antboy, but it's mainly around kind of the contract system and such, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few things where we do really encourage you to be there every race.
Yeah.
So you can do an interview. The winning TP will be expected to do interviews, and with their drivers. I think that is something we should expect. It's pretty much everything.
Grand. Does that answer it okay? At least kind of for now, Just Shay. It's probably not a complete answer. But once the rulebook is posted, then hopefully it should be fully clear.
Yeah, it's okay for now.
Yep, cool.
I'll just look over the rulebook once it comes out.
Yeah,
Just ping.
if you want any more details, feel free to ping Antboy or myself, and we can chat in a chat already.
Yeah, no worries.
Cool. Anyone else? Any more questions?
There was just actually one more thing I was going to say about the TP.
Go ahead, yeah.
Reserve drivers can no longer just show up and drive. TPs have to have written approval. And if that is not a thing, then you won't have a driver racing because reserves now count for constructors' points. So we are going to make sure that reserves have written approval before they race for your team. So make sure you have that ahead of the weekend.
Yep. And part of that will be that that driver has to be approved by the FIA, so you can't just have, Jimmy that you've just picked up from Open Lobbies pop in, that we have no clue what he's going to be like. But at the same time, if it is someone that they have the pace and they can be a clean driver, then we may very well be able to approve that driver even without experience. I know everyone loves Jimmy, but
Uncle Jimmy from down the street. Yeah, he's a great guy.
But
Makes a good cup of tea.
Yeah, I'm talking about Jimmy Crashy McGee. We don't want him just popping in,
I didn't realise I had a new nickname.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you were here. Sorry, Jimmy. Okay. Let me just check. I'm getting some messages.
Like with the reserves, if you have proof that they're a clean driver, then we will let them race in tier 2, tier 1, etc.
Exactly. So if there are no further questions, let's leave it there. And boy, are you happy to run some community racing if people are interested?
Nope.
Nope. Or
Wonderful.
Classic for me.
I'm not helping.
If anyone is interested, excellent. So if you are interested in doing some racing, we'll kick off some lobbies. You should see some pings in the open lobby channel, or feel free to kick off a lobby yourself as well. If you do have any further questions and you just didn't want to ask it in here, feel free to message me personally, and I am more than happy to answer it as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We promise we don't bite. We actually don't bite.
Yeah. I promise.
Unless
if Maverick remembers to feed us, we won't bite.
Yes, exactly. And I'm pretty good at feeding them most of the time. So thanks very much, everyone, for popping in. Let's all look forward to a really good Season 2. Let's make it a good one. And let's keep Phoenix an absolutely awesome place to go racing. All right. Thanks very much, everyone.